Hi all, I'm gonna do a quick walkthrough. Stuff is starting to look pretty nice. Herbs, got this is purslane. Sarah's decided she really likes purslane. It's kind of salty green, but it's indestructible here and it's invasive if you're not careful with it. So I think I'm gonna plant a lot more of that and try and keep it isolated. Those are probably not going to come up at this point, but I'm still working on them. The piles of logs with for mushrooms are all in good shape still. There's some cracking on some of the wax caps at the end. I'm letting this area go wild here, try and give a little bit of different habitat. I also threw out a bunch of flower seeds, so we'll see what comes up. This is catgrass and catnip. More herbs, more herbs. I still haven't gotten much of this wood pile out yet. I need to, but I need to do it soon, especially because this bindweed is taking over. This is a perennial morning glory, and it's almost indestructible. But I'm trying. So rose. This rose is really doing well. These are the blackberries. I added more compost over everything to try and jumpstart them a little bit. Heritage raspberries. Not sure what that is in the middle. It's something. And this one is where the Ann yellow raspberries were. I don't know that they're going to come up. It looks like I might have a couple little shoots coming up, but I can't tell if those are raspberry or if they're more bindweed. I suspect they're bindweed, but I'm going to see. Did a whole bunch of weeding recently, so all this was covered in bindweed. I took out 2.5 big Rubbermaid tubs. You can see them down there, 27-gallon Rubbermaid tubs of bindweed, and I'm rotting it down in water to try and kill off and rot the roots, because they can spread by pieces of root. So if you put them straight in the compost pile, they'll get in everything you put the compost on. This perennial spinach, or the perpetual spinach, is getting leaf miners, so I think I'm going to take all that out and go with other leafy greens. Regular spinach has a little bit too, but the kale's been untouched and the lettuce has been untouched, so I'm going to have a lot of kale and lettuce. Took out the radishes. The carrots are starting to come up, tomatoes are coming up, onions. Kohlrabi's really coming up. Peas are struggling, so I'm not sure what to do about the peas, but might just fertilize them and see what happens. In the back are tomatillos over on this bed, and those are doing well. Got them flowering. This bed's starting to come anyway. Broccoli, lettuce, and I planted a bunch of carrot seeds. That's probably going to be the last round of seeds I plant this year. Strawberries are coming along. Some of the bigger ones are about to send off runners. Got the starts of the comfrey coming up from the last bare root cuttings I planted. Strawberries are coming along. Couple of runners, a couple of berries on them, not much, and I think the squirrels have been eating the green berries, so much for that. The squirrels they're my nemesis. This plum tree probably isn't going to make it. Luckily, I have an extra fig tree that I can stick in. And this fig tree will have to see. For some reason, the squirrels absolutely love to dig this thing up. So I don't know if it's ever going to, like, it was just dug up again. I don't know if it's ever going to take. I may just have to try and replace it with a tree about this size next year and see if that'll do it. Starting to get our first zucchinis coming up. There's a little guy. Here's a bigger guy. Yeah, so these plants are pretty spindly because they're not like they're planted in a lot of wood chips and very little soil. But even so, with the number of plants I put out, we're going to get plenty of food off them. Horseradish is doing fine. Peppers are starting to come along. They got in the ground a little early. Had to turn the compost pile and pull out the bindweed that I had put in there before. Here's a little piece I missed, but yeah, I'll get that later. And I planted a bunch of new asparagus crowns. I dug in there to see what happened to the last ones, and they died. I don't think that I watered them well enough, soaked them well enough before I planted them. So I think that they probably dried out and died like right as they were starting to sprout. They just couldn't make it. There were a ton of weeds back here. I cleaned out all that. There are runners from this tree. It's all roots coming in under the property line, but at least I'll have a lot of green waste. Here's some more bindweed. This is what I'm talking about. This is the perpetual morning glory, and it's a nightmare. The runners, it spreads by root. Root can travel 10 feet per season. So for it to be 20 feet from the fence line means that the last owners probably never did anything with it. Like, never controlled it, except maybe spraying Roundup around the edges. And this is what bin looks like. This is the bin that's half full. The other ones are pressed down, but still totally full and filled with water. Goji berries coming along. It's a little dry. I've started watering more. These two honeyberries are coming very slowly. We'll see how those go. But really, the honeyberries are not super happy right now. The wildflower patch is coming, and wildflower. That's it. Take care, y'all.